Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and more Blood and Plunders. We work our way through more of the legendary pirate commanders. Today we're taking a look at an interesting one, and that's Calico Jack Rackham. So let's jump right in. We haven't really had a character that is like this in the sense of he is only 8 points, right? That's super cheap, especially compared to even like some of the generic commanders that are out there. This is a bargain, but let's see if that 8 points is even worth the investment with his rules that he gets. And again, the nice part too with him as a special character, if you are really wanting to have a special character, 8 points is not that much. So even in like a smaller size game, it may lend itself to running him. You have some flexibility. You can put him in the Golden Age Pirates or the Flying Gang. Has the sort of standard for pirates, brace of pistols, and standard melee weapon. And then the 8-inch command range, only 1 command point, right? We can't really be asking for more than that for all of 8 points, right? But he comes with 2 special rules still, and we'll start with Felicitous. We haven't seen that one very often, but when we do, it's a neat one. So if a force that includes the commander begins a turn with no fortune points, you immediately gain 1. So really lends itself to being very aggressive with your fortune points throughout the game, just so that you can get more free ones. That being said, if you were needing like more than 1 a turn, or 1 in a given turn, obviously once you've burned through your initial allotment, you're only ever going to have 1 for future turns. But theoretically, right, you could burn through all 3 of your normal ones turn 1, and then start the subsequent turns of the game with no fortune, gain a fortune point, and really have almost twice as many as your opponent would theoretically have access to, if not more, depending on how long the game really goes. So interesting ability. Again, I don't think we've really seen hardly any characters with that, but just it's a different playstyle that you can adopt with that, and using your fortune points for different things that they're able to be used for. The other one is Terror. We've seen that a few times, and that's somewhat of a situational one, but basically at the start of the game, the enemy player has to take a leadership test essentially for all of their units, and they may, if they fail, then basically or resolve test, we should say. We always say leadership tests from other games, but resolve test, if they fail, those units gain a point of fatigue. So not game breaking necessarily, but it can certainly be game disruptive or plan disruptive for the opponent. That 1 point of fatigue to start the game isn't going to affect their units, but very quickly once contact happens, and if you're able to apply some damage to those units and they gain more fatigue very quickly, it's going to start affecting their ability to do all the actions they want. If you're lucky enough to even apply more than just another point of fatigue, then you could easily shake enemy units early on, and that's going to force them to retreat a little bit, and just in other ways be very disruptive to them. So if they fail a lot on that initial resolve test, in the right situations, if you can be aggressive, push up and land some damage early, it's going to be very disruptive, right? It might even seem unfair if you can get very lucky with that, and then apply the damage. But and on the other hand, if the opponent let's say they just magically make all the resolve tests, then obviously Terror did nothing. So it is situational, but when it does work in your favor and you can exploit that further, then it really becomes quite terrifying for the opponent, right? So it's a situational one. We can't always gamble on it. We just need to be aware of it, and especially for certain scenarios. If we can slow the enemy down and get to where we need to and get into best positions before them, then we can really take advantage of that. So he's got a kind of a start of the game ability, and then kind of like pushing his luck essentially with the Felicitous and gaining more fortune over the course of the game to get maximum use of that. But other than that, there's nothing else to him. He's not inspiring, certainly nothing else really happening with him. It's just you got to maximize those 2 things. So then the question becomes, where does he fit better, Golden Age Pirates or the Flying Circus, the Flying Gang? Let us know in the comments, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll have more Blood and Plunder for you soon. Thanks for watching.